suspect there's a moment in every life when we wonder, what am I here for? In 1 Jeremiah, we hear God speak directly into that question. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. These words weren't just for Jeremiah. They echo into our own lives. They speak to the mystery and weight of being known by God before we even have a name, a role, or even a plan. But Jeremiah's response sounds very human. Oh, sovereign, he says, sovereign Lord, I do not know how to speak. I am only a child. He doesn't feel ready. He doesn't feel qualified. He sees only his weakness. And in that moment, God doesn't dismiss his fear, but God reframes it. Do not say, I am only a child. You must go to everyone I send you to. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. And then, this is the key. I have put words in your mouth. God doesn't wait for Jeremiah to feel confident. God equips him. God fills his mouth with the words he needs. This is how prophets are born. Not from strength, but from surrender. One modern voice who deeply understood the prophetic task was Abraham Joshua Heschel, a Jewish theologian, rabbi, and civil rights activist in the 20th century. Heschel wrote a powerful book called The Prophets, where he described them as people who feel the emotions of God, who tremble when God trembles, and who speak because silence would betray their calling. Heschel himself lived like that. He marched alongside Martin Luther King Jr. in Selma. And when asked about it later, he said, I felt my legs were praying. Like Jeremiah, Heschel didn't just talk about justice from a distance. He walked into it. He believed that being religious meant being deeply disturbed by injustice and being willing to speak and act, even when the cost was high. He was a prophet not because he had all the answers, but because he listened to the ache in God's heart and let it shape his voice. So what does this mean for us? We might not be called to be a prophet in the global sense, but Jeremiah's story and Heschel's life reminds us that God calls us personally, specifically, and sometimes uncomfortably. We might feel too young, too old, too ordinary. But God says, do not be afraid. I am with you. I will put my words in your mouth. So the real question isn't, am I ready? It's, am I willing? Willing to listen, willing to speak, willing to go where God sends us, even if our voices shake. So today, hear these words again, not just as ancient scripture, but as living truth. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. God knows us, God calls us, and yes, God sends us.